Hey people, Positive Paul. It's Wednesday, February 1st, 2023, and this is going to be a quick all over the map video. And I will address the situation of the dopey comment perps again on BitChute because my YouTube comment section's been closed down for a while. But I want to go over a couple quick things. And at this point, over the course of the past 2 weeks, I've compiled more UFO footage than any other human being on planet Earth can shake a stick at. And I'm going to try to do some more of these UFO analysis anomaly breakdowns, and I will attempt another one here in a second. So here we go, folks. Hope everybody's well. These cards that are issued to the migrants that are coming up from South America and southern Mexico, I don't know where they come from, but these individuals, these groups are receiving these cards apparently indirectly, ostensibly, however you want to put it. This money's coming from the United Nations or somewhere to that effect. So to the tune of, I guess they get 6 of them, and there's 5,000 pesos on each one. So that's 30,000 pesos. That's a lot of money right there, folks. That's like, shit, $3,000. So whether or not this is the case, which I believe it is, you can rest assured that this is done intentionally with forethought and planning in order to disrupt, to, well, essentially shut down you know who. So with that being said, I want to throw that out there real quick because I'm in Mexico and I seen one of these. Someone had it. I don't know what to make of it, like I said, but there you go. So now let's continue. All right, we all know who this is. Now remember, in relationship to all these conspiracy theories, why do you have them? Because something actually occurred that needs to be tightly, the information concerning the matter needs to be tightly controlled. And if you were involved in any of these nefarious activities that took place specifically in the early 80s out on Long Island, New York, you certainly would be a individual, a group of interest, someone that would need to be kept an eye on, because you have information that can potentially maybe save someone's life. Now, this all took place under his watch. So that's numero uno. But when you look at how information became disseminated starting in the mid to late 80s, where you see talk radio take off, cable take off. You see Rush Limbaugh, the Grand Poobah, cover the political spectrum. You see Art Bell come into being to take care of the conspiratorial narrative. And I listened to Coast, starting in the late 90s. Not so much recently for obvious reasons, but I know the whole Coast to Coast gambit. And Preston and Al were on there back in 94, 93 after their big visit. But you see that. You see Coast to Coast pop up. You see conservative talk radio pop up. And then, of course, you got Howard Stern and the rest of the numbskulls to distract you, keep you entertained, so you don't understand what these individuals are up to, albeit it may obviously be heavily compartmentalized, but Montauk was on his watch between the years of 1980 and August 12th, 83. Now, unfortunately, for all of you, this is where I come in. Now, I'll make this real quick. At this point, with the UFO footage I've compiled, there's not one asshole, numbskull, super soldier that can produce this. James Gilliland up in ECETI, which obviously that's a geomagnetic hotspot, something going on up there, can't produce this and explain it exactly on why this is. And Tucker Carlson cannot come up with this footage. Now, most of you want these huge flying saucers, these shiny spherical metallic discs that take up the whole screen. And I can tell you, you will never, ever in your life, this lifetime, see one that looks like that and is real. So let's go over some of these characters real quick one more time. Now, I've been, over the course of the past couple months, going back and revisiting these issues concerning Montauk. MK Ultra is a done deal for me. Anybody that tells me that I wasn't part of the original MK Ultra, born in Washington, D.C., 1966, family tied to naval intelligence, Pentagon, from Bavaria, Germany. Well, I don't know what to say, folks. This is why I can pick out the frauds, the ones trying to pretend to be me, and the others that think they got something figured out. Now, this guy, Alex, what's his name? What's his chops? Collier, right? Whatever he is. The Andromedan guy. The same time you watch, I'll repeat myself. Late 80s conservative radio, conspiratorial radio, and comedic radio. On top of Hollywood, folks. So you're getting more than a triple whammy. But all these individuals that claim that there's these aliens out there, and there's somebody. We know that. And no doubt about that, people. But they all pop up kind of at the same time. To include Cooper, the whole list. Mars, Tex Mars. It just, look, on and on. You can't dredge up all these names at once. Why would you want to? Because now that they're all dead and gone, and the people that took over want to regurgitate the same tired old baloney about the Anunnaki. And you've heard it all, folks. But this guy, he was one that sounded pretty sure of himself that he's got contact with these Andromedans. But again, remember, what was the Pleiadians in the Orion Council of Light and the reptilians doing? Do you see how each individual has contact with different alien groups? Because if you've paid attention to any of this, you'll pick up on the fact that there are these, well, whether you want to call them MUFON conferences, conventions, whatnot, they all show up starting in the late 80s through the beginning of the early 90s. Now, nothing's a coincidence. They have some explaining to do because there's going to be victims that are going to survive their shenanigans. So, Bialik, in one of his talks, kept using his name, and they were actually at a conference together. But if you've listened to Bialik, one of his warm-up talks back in the late 80s, specifically the one in 90 in Dallas, the MUFON conference, where he's talking about time travel, and he invokes the name of Aleister Crowley. Right there, you can start scratching your head. So here's Alex. Now, the thing with these hybrids, with these, well, if you want to use the term aliens for tonight, I'll let you do it, folks. How's that sound? But they may be fallen angels. They are fallen angels. The question is, how many of them are there? That's the question. Now, if one fallen angel is smarter than 1,000,000 humans, you take the brain power of 1,000,000 humans, it cannot outwit a fallen angel, right? It's just impossible. Now, the way they were able to worm their way in is look like us, humans. Now, what do we always talk about? The hot spots for the hybrids and these no-goodnik reptoids. The eyeballs, the nose, the mouth. Because when you look at a gray alien, a.k.a. the fallen angel, right? The bulbous head, the nose is all it's tiny, shrunken. The eyes aren't the same. The mouth isn't the same, and the hands. Why are those the key hotspots with the electromagnetic distortion, aka shape-shifting? So here you have Collier in one of his famous talks back in '94, and I tell you, they're convincing enough, but when things go haywire, they gotta touch theirself and reset something, cover up. They know what's going on inside them. Now, The reason why I continue to do this is because I can. I've got no money, no nothing. I spent the past couple days, that Friday and yesterday and today in Tijuana, sweeping up, picking up garbage for the neighbor. And they lost their marbles, buzzing around. Now, let's make it clear. There are planes in the air, and the flight path does go over Tijuana. But these small prop planes blasting off EMP bursts, these EMP flashes at low altitude next to cranes and, 15, 20-story buildings. No. I think this is so egregious that they continue to get away with this. It amazes me. But yet, what do I know? I'm just a dumb, trauma-based mind control, satanic ritual abuse survivor. What do I know? Apparently, I know something. I know a freak social media fraud hybrid when I see one. Now, let's quickly move along. See, look, this video was coming because I tell you, you try to be calm, cool, and collected. You want to be nice. Now, let's see what we can do. Now, we know with the hybrids that right after World War II, they were up to something. Here's Bob Weir, New Year's Eve '85. And he freaks out on stage, and for a mere moment, the public broadcast goes haywire. Now take a quick look. I'm not going to keep explaining what's going on here. Now that's what he's supposed to look like, but look at his neck. He's not wearing a t-shirt under his polo shirt. That's not supposed to be there, and it's not coming in that good, but let's see if we can get this dialed in. Do you see that on his neck? That's what he's supposed to look like. But it's something with the original hybrids, they got the most electromagnetic distortion. His eyes were actually oscillating sideways and up and down for about maybe 5 seconds. And it's a hell of a thing. And look, there are probably barely 0.00001% people on planet Earth that would even understand what the hell they're looking at. Oh, it's just a band playing music. Well, yeah, you got that part right. So there you go there. Now, let me see if I can do this real quick. All the action, this is the other day. I went to pick up my son. Let's see if we can do this. Bear with me, people. All right. Now, do you see? Okay, right here. Look, it's coming in pretty clear. So this looking like I'm getting a break tonight. But look up here too, also. Okay, do you see that? I would just call them electromagnetic flashes, but it's really not what it is because I don't know how to totally describe it. But what it was is I never drive. I haven't driven in over